Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Well, I rise to speak about the Pacific Diaspora in our nation and in my electorate of Lalor, and the people-to-people relationships that they create for us in our friendship and place in the Pacific. In Wyndham, we are proud to be home to the second largest Pacifica population in Victoria, with more than 10,000 Pacific Islanders across the local government area. In Lalor and in Jellybrand, the Pacific is not foreign policy, it's family. I've seen firsthand the vibrancy of this community, its music and church on Sundays, its youth groups, sports clubs and cultural festivals on the weekends. It's the voices and energy of young people proud of who they are and determined to shape their future. For example, at Grange Prep to 12 College, that pride is on full display. Their Sports Science Academy is thriving, driven in no small part by the engagement of Pacific Islander families. It's building more than athletes, it's building confidence, discipline and aspiration. Local sisters Unique and Beyonce Pallavi, former students from Granger Sports Science Academy and proud Tongan Australians, recently represented Tonga through the Pacific Oz Sports Netball Series. They are not just athletes, they are cultural ambassadors and an inspiration to young people across Lalor and beyond. And this is why the Albanese government is investing in Pacific Oz sports, supporting both grassroots and elite participation. I know firsthand that some of the results that happen in the Pacific Oz Sports program bring people in joy in the streets in my community. We know that sport changes lives. In Fiji, women's rugby has surged from 18 to over 80 teams. In PNG, a country with over 800 languages, the dream of a national NRL team is uniting a nation. And in my community in Wyndham, clubs like the Werribee Bears and Wyndham Rhinos do more than host games, they build belonging for my Pacifica communities. The Albanese government understands that real Pacific engagement begins with people. That's why we've expanded the Pacific Australia Labour Mobility, the PALM scheme as it's known, with now over 30,000 Pacific workers contributing to industries across regional Australia. These workers are helping fill critical labour shortages, especially in agriculture, aged care and hospitality. Just last month, I visited Fresh Select in Werribee South, one of Australia's largest lettuce and brassica growers, with the Minister for Agriculture, Julie Collins. There we met palm workers from Vanuatu. And what I saw wasn't just a workforce, it was a relationship, a deep and personal link between our countries built on trust, contribution and mutual respect. These workers don't just support local businesses, they support families back home. On average, long-term palm workers send home up to $15,000 a year in remittances, money that helps raise children, fund education and strengthen Pacific communities. And seasonal workers remit around $1,000 a month. That's why Labor also took action to protect the Pacific banking access when commercial banks threatened to cut off key services. Because what may seem like a technical policy issue in Canberra has very real impacts in places like Wyndham, Apia and Suva, where families rely on safe and affordable ways to send money home. But we're not stopping there. Over the next 4 years, 1,500 Pacific workers will complete formal Australian qualifications, including in sectors like aged care, construction and hospitality. That's how we deliver not just jobs but skills, dignity and long-term opportunity. In the Pacific, strong relationships are built on respect, trust and time, not just words but action. That's how this government is engaging with the region. And that's how we're working with the Pacifica communities here at home, in Lalor and across the country. We're not just building policy, we're building partnerships. And in communities like mine, we're already seeing the results. I'm proud to represent this community and proud to be part of a government that is delivering real outcomes for Pacific communities here and for our neighbours across the Blue Pacific. And I just want to give a shout out to a group of Pacifica women in my community who have established themselves as a co-op, if you like. They have input and have had input into policy ideas for our work in DFAT for years now. A quick text because they've all been together and said, you know, there's a lot of lack of emergency service training in Pacifica. It is these things that bring these countries together.
The member's time has
Thank you, Deputy.
expired.